Hello and namaste everyone, Pratima here, and today I will be discussing my in-depth experience with the Realme GT 2 Pro. It is the company's most premium phone to launch till date, and it comes with a really impressive spec sheet for quite a reasonable price. Here I have also been comparing this phone with the Xiaomi 12 Pro, which has more or less the same specs but comes for a slightly higher price. So let's dive right into the review with the things that I have liked about this phone, and the first thing that comes to my mind is certainly its unique design that I am quite fond of actually. In this world of plastic and glass finished phones, Realme's paper-like implementation looks and feels quite different. Likewise, Realme says that they've used a bio-based polymer material here, which leaves around 35% less carbon footprint. So that's something I really appreciate, being an eco-freak myself. And not to forget, its paper-like back means that you can write on it too, which is kind of interesting, but definitely not something you would do regularly. But you know what would have been even more interesting? If the GT 2 Pro came with the design as the initial leak suggested. I mean, that looks so damn cool, right? Nevertheless, coming from the flashy racetrack design of the Realme GT, this one's a huge improvement in my opinion. Also, having used this phone for quite some time, that too without a cover, I am pleasantly surprised that this back has not gotten dirty even on this light color textured finish. The GT 2 Pro is one comfortable phone to use too, thanks to its lightweight design and flat frames. But comparing the Xiaomi 12 Pro side by side, I feel like the GT 2 Pro kind of misses out on that premium heft. So if you're into hefty glass design phones, I think you might like what Xiaomi has to offer instead. Overall, I don't have many complaints on the design front of the GT 2 Pro except the fact that it's missing an IP rating. I don't know if you watched MKBHD's interview with the then co-founder of OnePlus, Carl Pei, but in that interview, he says that the cost for including an official IP rating on the OnePlus Nord would have been around $15 had they decided to go that route. So I think it's high time that brands like Realme and Xiaomi start offering such ingress protection, at least on their premium flagships, because it seems like the cost of the phone won't go up by a huge margin anyway. Okay, in terms of the display, you get everything you would expect from a flagship phone here on the Realme GT 2 Pro. It has a 6.7 inches Samsung-made AMOLED panel with 2K resolution. It has 10-bit colors, 100% DCI-P3 color coverage, LTPO 2.0 technology, and up to 1000 Hz dot sampling rate. And it's not just about the specs. This is indeed one hell of a good screen. I found it to be quite bright and vibrant, so watching videos or simply browsing the web has been an incredible experience here. For durability, Realme has also included Gorilla Glass Victus protection on top, but as Zach from Jerry Rig Everything always says, glass is glass and it breaks. So making sure your smartphone's display remains intact is never a bad idea. And our sponsor for today's video, Glazed Ink, will help you do just that. Glazed Ink's range of premium real curved tempered glasses offer true complete coverage of your phone's display so that you don't accidentally damage it. Unlike other normal tempered glasses in the market, Glazed Ink's tempered glasses provide you with a complete viewing experience with their fully glued edge-to-edge design. For added protection, you can get their glazed rugged armored case that is impact and shock proof, and it comes with a honeycomb design for maximum damage protection. Check out the link given in the description below to get Glazed Ink tempered glasses and covers for the Realme GT 2 Pro or any other smartphone. And don't forget to use code GBY10 for an additional 10% discount. Okay, getting back to the video, something icky about this display is that it does not support HDR video playback on OTT platforms, although the display itself is HDR10 Plus certified. For me personally, that hasn't made that big of a difference because, let's face it, there aren't a lot of Dolby Vision and HDR contents to begin with. So that means my content consumption experience has not been affected that much here. But despite the multiple security updates the phone has received so far, Realme is yet to solve this issue. And I don't know if it's because of the latest update, but what I've also noticed is that the contrast in normal HDR videos is slightly boosted here. So I hope Realme looks into it and brings an update ASAP. Besides that, GT2 Pro's in-display fingerprint sensor works quite well, and thanks to the excellent vibration motor, the typing experience on this phone is quite crisp and satisfactory. Its audio quality is pretty good too, although there is some noticeable distortion in the highest volume. Actually, I was expecting the Xiaomi 12 Pro to do better in this aspect with its Harman Kardon tuned quad speakers, but it turned out to be the opposite. I found the vocals and the overall audio to be crisper on the GT2 Pro. Here, let me play a little something for you to judge. Okay, apart from the terrific design and display, another thing that I have been very satisfied with is its battery life. Its 5000 mAh battery had no trouble lasting me an entire day under my typical usage pattern, which means lots of multimedia consumption, clicking photos and videos, and constantly on a phone call or WhatsApp. So yeah, the battery life here is certainly better than the Xiaomi 12 Pro that would not even last me until bedtime. But Xiaomi does compensate with its 120 watt fast charging support that takes the phone from 0 to 100% in under 25 minutes, while Realme's 65 watt charger fills up the GT2 Pro in 35 minutes, give or take. Then again, that 10-minute difference really does not account much for me. But if you are someone who's always on the run and charging speed matters to you a lot, then Xiaomi does have a slight edge here. Alright, let's talk about the performance now. And just like the Xiaomi 12 Pro and other high-end Android devices, the Realme GT2 Pro is fueled by Qualcomm's second most powerful chipset of 2022, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. And we know that this is an excellent processor which can handle almost everything you throw at it. But we are also well aware of its heating issues. And yes, when you push the Realme GT2 Pro hard enough, the phone does heat up. Here, playing graphic-intensive games like Genshin Impact for about 25 to 30 minutes in the highest possible settings, it almost reaches 45 degrees Celsius. And it's not just about the heat, because during the first 10 minutes when the phone stays relatively cool, I was getting about 48 to 50 FPS, which dropped to 38 FPS after 20 minutes. So what Realme is doing here is throttling the performance for better stability and less heat dissipation. And hence, I was able to get stable 38 FPS even beyond 30 minutes into the game. Apart from gaming, if you're recording 4K videos for a while, you will also notice the phone's temperature rising then. However, games like PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile run very smoothly in their respective highest settings, achieving 40 and 60 FPS throughout the gameplay, all the while maintaining below 42 degrees temperature, so that is good. Xiaomi 12 Pro's results are more or less similar in the same setting, but I noticed that its back panel starts feeling warm rather quickly, and its sustained performance is slightly lower than Realme's in real-life testing as well as CPU throttling tests. So I got to admire Realme for optimizing the GT2 Pro's performance and also for using one of the largest vapor chamber cooling in the industry, which has contributed to such favorable sustained results. Moving on, Realme's software experience has also been getting better over the years, which I am quite happy about. The GT2 Pro runs on Android 12 with Realme UI 3.0 on top, and I appreciate how clean this UI is and how well Realme has optimized it. I am yet to face any kind of micro stutters while navigating through the phone, and it's also capable of switching between refresh rate quite spontaneously depending upon the content on the screen. However, there are two things that I am not happy about its software. Number one, the bloatware situation here is somewhat out of hand. I mean, being the most premium phone in Realme's portfolio, it still comes with more than 15 bloatware apps. Although most of them can be uninstalled, what's really annoying here is that some of these apps reappear after every update. And number two, I have encountered a few ads here and there while using default system apps like File Manager, which again should not be the case with such a premium device. But still, these are some things that you can live by and not a deal breaker in any way, which brings me to its cameras. And this is one area where I found the GT2 Pro to be unable to provide a premium experience yet. I am definitely not saying its cameras are bad or anything. Still, if you take Realme's cheaper phones like the Realme 9 Pro Plus for example, I think it offers one of the best cameras in the mid-range segment. But as the price of Realme phones increases, the overall camera performance does not increase linearly as you would expect it to be. And hence the GT2 Pro is not in the same league as similarly priced phones from Samsung, Apple, and even Xiaomi for that matter. Here, just take a look at this portrait shot I took with both these phones. It has this extra vibrancy that leaves the subject with an unnaturally rich color tone. In this aspect, I think the Xiaomi 12 Pro has done a better optimization as it delivers better subject focus and skin tone. You will find similar properties in the selfies too. In terms of regular images from the main sensor, Realme's stand-alone results have a good dynamic range and details, but they also have this extra punch in them which can be a bit overboard sometimes. In comparison, the 12 Pro brings noticeably more subtle output, which I prefer most of the time. During nighttime too, Xiaomi maintains better exposure and sharpness. Alright, so about the videos, well, you have options to shoot at various different resolutions like 8K 24fps, you can shoot at 4K 30 or 60, 1080p 30 or 60 and likewise. And the video quality, I think it looks really nice. The colors are a bit on the saturated side, but the stabilization is good. The videos are really stable and the videos have this nice field of view as well, so that is good. About the microphone, well, the subject sounds crisp, although I would appreciate if the background noise cancellation was a bit better. Okay, turning over to the front, the Realme GT2 Pro can shoot at 1080p 30fps only, which I think is kind of a bummer considering it is such a premium phone. At 1080p 30fps, you have two options though. You can turn on the ultra steady mode, which I have turned on right now, which balances the stabilization to a great extent. If you choose to turn it off, the stabilization is not very good, but you get a wider field of view. Apart from that, I think the subject looks good, although I wish the highlight management was a bit better. Okay, so now it is time to conclude this video. So what do I make of this Realme flagship? Well, I think it's a good, if not great, semi-flagship phone and certainly justifies the price it has. But going forward, I really want Realme to bring more innovation to the camera department. Maybe some kind of collaboration will help achieve that, like Xiaomi is doing with Leica or OnePlus with Hasselblad. Or maybe R&D in terms of computational photography. I'm not sure, but as things stand, Apple, Samsung and Google are comfortably sitting in the top 3 spots while other brands are playing catch up. So I hope Realme, instead of bringing out new flagship devices really fast, like every 8 to 10 months, would wait for a bit more and make improvements in areas where it's lacking and not make the same mistakes as other Chinese brands did in the last 5 years. So guys, that was all for our in-depth full review of the Realme GT2 Pro. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and I will see you in my next video.